Have you ever stood in the pulpit and realized the words coming out of your mouth weren't landing in the hearts of your people? Maybe you said the right things, biblical, true, maybe even eloquent, but you could sense that something was missing. The same thing can happen in classrooms, staff meetings, and cafes. Today we're exploring this powerful truth that connecting goes beyond words. People never just hear what you say, they feel who you are. And for fivefold servant leaders, this isn't just a communication skill, it's a kingdom necessity. Join us as we learn all this and more right here, right now, and only on the Five Gifts Podcast.
You're listening to the Five Gifts Podcast, a weekly show designed to equip leaders in the Spirit-filled church. I'm Bruce Ritter, and along with my co-host Charles Russell, we offer insights for leading the local church in the fullest expression of Jesus. If you're interested in learning more about practical theology, the gifts of the Spirit, and spiritual disciplines, this is the show for you. Welcome to the Five Gifts Podcast. Welcome back to the Five Gifts Podcast. I'm Bruce Ritter, here with my co-host Charles Russell. Charles, welcome.
Hey, Bruce. Good to be here today on the Five Gifts Podcast. Welcome to all of our viewers, subscribers, listeners. And if you haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and take a moment and hit that like and subscribe button. Get on this Five Gifts train. We're on enjoying the ride with us. But it's great to be here. It's been a big weekend of celebrations for our family. Our youngest daughter just turned 16, so we partied all weekend in a fivefold manner, whatever that means. But we've got all the parties by. What's that?
All five gifts all the time.
Woo! That's right. So anyway, we're ready for a great episode today, and just thrilled to be here and ready to explore what God has for us.
Amen. We had a big weekend on our end of the state, and excited to see what God is doing around us in our church, and so big weekend for us. But we actually celebrated some advancements of our kids ministry. It's a promotional Sunday, not promotional in terms of public relations, but promotional in terms of kids going to their next a group of classes at our church, and so that was exciting to celebrate what they'd done. And then just shout out to our kids pastor, Sarah Van Dyke. She is a fantastic children's pastor, and we're so glad to have her on staff. Well, today we're exploring what it means to live and lead as fivefold Spirit-filled believers in today's world, leaders in the local church. And so we're kicking that off today.
Yeah, that's right. Today's conversation is one that every pastor, every leader, every believer needs to lean into. The people we lead need more than our words. They actually need our presence.
Exactly. Great point. Communication is central to every gift. Apostles or apostolic leaders, they cast vision. Prophetic leaders, they declare the word and the activity of God. Pastors have to shepherd with words. Teachers equip. They teach with words. Evangelists proclaim. But connection is deeper than just what we communicate. It's deeper than words. It's about authenticity. It's about alignment. It's about spirit-led engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. Pastor, just take a moment and think about last Sunday. Now, I know that was just yesterday. I know it's Monday, and if you're like me, Mondays are built to forget about what happened on yesterday sometimes. But put away your dreams and aspirations of retiring the ministry and going to sell insurance, and just think about what happened yesterday. Did your people just hear your sermon, or did they feel your heart? Think about that in regards or in the context of your last team meeting. Did you share the points of your agenda, or were you able to share your passion? Because that can be the difference between communication and connection. And we want to move beyond just communicating. We want to be connecting with our teams and ministry leaders and the congregants that we are charged with leading. So if words are only a fraction of communication, then we have to ask this question: what's really carrying the weight of our leadership? So let's start with the big picture of why connecting goes beyond words, and how presence and posture speak louder than our sermons.
Yeah, truly, leadership goes way beyond the words that we share, we teach, the vision we cast. It really is about the power of presence. So much of leadership is actually what you're not saying. And if you think about this, I believe it was UCLA research. They tell us that when you communicate face to face, only 7% of what people believe comes from your words. The other 93%, that's dictated by tone, it's shaped by your body language, and that's staggering. That means that every time you step up to preach, to cast vision, or to lead your team, you're communicating far more with your posture, your presence, your passion. It's maybe not so much the words that you say as much as how you say them. So, for example, an apostolic leader, the vision you cast, it's embodied in your tone, your passion, your presence, and that's either going to inspire or discourage people. Never just lean on the weight of your words. Your words have weight because of you, because of your delivery, because of the authenticity of passion that's coming through you. So, Charles, there's so much pressure on the apostolic leader, I think, to direct an organization or to cast vision for its future. Well, apostolic leader, you've got to step up to the plate and be assured of what you're talking about. You have to lead with confidence. And we can go back and forth on confidence, but the truth is you're a spirit-filled leader. You know that your confidence is not in yourself. You know that it's from Christ's presence in your life, His empowering Holy Spirit. So that's something apostolic leaders need to let shine through. And I think by becoming a little more authentic, a little more transparent, but also really honest with your heart and your vision and your passion, just gives weight to those words. Same thing is true of prophetic leaders. People watch how you carry a word, not just what you say. So the sense that of gravity that I try to tell people anytime I'm sensing there's teaching that is kind of rote and tied to your study, but I know when it comes to a moment in a message or key point with someone I'm mentoring, or even something I'm sharing in a staff meeting, when I sense it's the activity of God, I try to give some space around the words and just speak a little slower with a little more intentional cadence, because I want people to get the gravity of the word. So that's important. It's not just what we say, but again, how we say it. And we can tie that into Pentecostal worship, our charismatic preaching. People, get this, people sense anointing and engagement before they understand your outline. I can't tell you how much energy and effort I put into a real cohesive outline with transitions and making sure my points are worded, in intriguing, compelling, sticky ways. But the truth is, as people are going to sense my presentation, whether or not I believe it, whether or not I'm all in on it, and that says a whole lot when you're preaching a message or teaching an outline in front of people. So again, what message is your body language preaching before you ever open your mouth?
Wow, Bruce, that's powerful, man. You're bringing the heat this morning on moving beyond communication to connecting. You're exactly right. People don't just listen to our words; they watch our lives. They're watching. But connection isn't only about what people see; it's also about how we shape what they understand. That's where the first component of connection is. We're talking about thought. That's where thought comes in. So when we think about thought, thought is something we know. But knowledge that hasn't happened in us cannot flow through us. So thought has to happen, knowledge has to happen. It's got to be personalized, contextualized within us, so that it can flow from us now to the people that we're called to serve and to lead. Any message you try to convey to others must contain, I mean, it's going to contain a piece of you. I'm just thinking about yesterday. I preached at our home church. They invited us to come and minister, and so I was thankful for that opportunity. And several people came up to us afterwards and thanked us, but said things like, that I've never heard that before, or I could really uh, hear how that message had resonated within you. And I appreciate those things. Um, when that message works in us, and it concentrates in us, it boils down. Excuse me. Then when we deliver that message, it's not just reading words off a piece of paper, but we deliver the message, but it contains our heart. It contains a piece of who we are. And that's impactful on people. People pick up on that. They sense and they understand that this is not just a speech that's being given, but this is life changing, life transforming, and it's been at work inside of the messenger before the message was ever delivered to the people. And so, if we're going to move from communicating to connecting, listen, that message, it must contain a piece of who we are. That's a great tie-in, segue into the next point, which is this: your knowledge must be experiential. Look, people want to see it in your experience, not just hear it in your words. That's why when you get up to deliver the message, don't tell other people's stories. Uh, I'm just a big believer that by and large, use your stories. Now, certainly, other people's experience, and there are stories that are powerful that we can convey. But if we can use a personal story in the message to contain, or to convey the knowledge and the message, then people see that in our experience, and not just in our words that we are reciting. Um, the next point would be this: nothing can happen through you until it happens in you. Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen through you until it happens in you. That's just a great leadership principle. Um, but again, this same principle helps move us from communication to connection. Look, experience is not only a good teacher; it is a great persuader. And so, if I come from a posture of having experienced this message, now I'm not just teaching; I'm persuading, I'm motivating, I'm influencing people to move toward the message. And what's the message? As spirit filled, fivefold leaders that we're conveying, ultimately the bottom line is the message is always Jesus. And so our preaching, our communicating moves us to now connecting, in our connections, influence and help move people toward Jesus. So for apostolic leaders, um, here's a great tip: intellectual connection happens when vision is clear, when it's structured, and when it is compelling. And the only time vision becomes clear, structured, and compelling is when it has been um, formed inside of the leader. So apostolic leader, don't rush it. Don't feel like, well, I've just got to get something out there. Let it form, let it develop. And now, as it has come together inside of you, now you can begin to deliver that vision, that message to the people that you're leading. Look, here's the key insight we've talked about in this section, and it's this: any message that you try to convey must contain a piece of who you are. Paul illustrates this for us in his words to Timothy. He says, "The thing you've heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable people." Paul wasn't just passing on information, he was passing lived truth.
Charles, you're exactly right. Knowledge is essential. We have to connect with people intellectually. And I'm just thinking of our two recent district superintendents, Rick Ross, who's very, very much an extroverted, outward processing, kind of in the moment thinker and communicator, but also just a very dynamic vision caster. But now our district superintendent, David Crabtree, is very different. David seems a little more introverted, more intentional in his speaking style, and a great orator. But what comes through both of them is an intellectual connection. I think what they say is clear. What they say is not only compelling, but it feels reliable. There's such a mastery in their ability to communicate, and so that's one experience that I go to think of exactly what you're saying. You have to connect intellectually, and people see that in you when they have a sense that this is happening in you. This is living inside of you, what you're saying. But while knowledge is essential, if we just stop there, our leadership can get dry. So the Spirit doesn't just call us to inform minds. Remember, He's calling us to stir hearts. And I want to be careful about this because sometimes working on people's emotions can be manipulative. We're not talking about that. We're talking about connecting with the heart. When you help someone connect with what is going on inside of you, that's gonna come from a place of authentic emotion. So let's move from thought to emotion, and let's talk about how passion and authenticity help us connect with people at a different level. Remember, emotion, what we're talking about, emotion is something that we feel. And I love what John Cotter says in his book, A Sense of Urgency. He says, "For centuries, we have heard the expression, 'Great leaders win over the hearts and minds of others.'" He doesn't say great leaders win over people's minds. He says they win over people's hearts first. And if we want to be good communicators, we should always keep that in mind. There is an emotional connection to be made with people at the level of feeling. So if you want to win someone over, first win their heart, and the rest of them will probably follow. Now consider what that looks like for apostolic leaders. Again, communicating with boldness and assurance, but also building in the value of your listener. What values is this connecting with them deeply on the inside? You can connect with them intellectually. It can seem concise and clear and full of wisdom. But the truth is, movement's going to come when that person is responding to your vision casting by saying, "Oh, that's how that improves my life," or "Wow, that's where I want to live. That's the kind of person I want to be." So apostolic leadership connects with people. It's not just driven by the agenda and the vision. It understands we've got to bring people along with us. We've got to connect with them and help them to see how this can not only benefit them, but help them to see what the value that it brings to their life. Think about the evangelist. We haven't said a whole lot about the evangelist today, but with regard to the evangelist, connection is impossible without heart. People won't follow the facts or the apologetic or Romans Road with you if they don't feel loved. So evangelists communicate that by taking time, by investing themselves in people, by listening to their story. I know it's really incumbent upon the evangelist to preach the gospel. I know the Bible teaches, how can they hear without a preacher? But at the same time, that preacher has to connect. That preacher has to get into a person's story and life and help them to feel like, they are eternally worthwhile. And so evangelists embody that. And then think about pastors. We talk about the care and the relational priority, when it comes to the pastoral gift. Well, again, care has to be felt, not just stated. We can't just say, I care about you. It has to be seen. There has to be that emotional connection. So remember, people may not remember what you said, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And so as a pastor, you're wanting to embody the things that Jesus felt, compassion for the multitudes. That connects powerfully with people that are hurting. And so allow that to come to the forefront in your life. Be a little more vulnerable. Help people see that you're not, a robot that's just going through the motion. Make sure that you're letting your heart come through. What about teachers? I'm going through all the gifts, it looks like here, but teachers convict, right? Where they teach, but they need to teach with conviction. They need to teach with a sense of positivity, not just lecturing out of a curriculum or a prepared teaching outline. Again, connecting with people emotionally means that you really believe what you're talking about, and they can feel the passion in your words. So again, it's a skill of communication, and teachers have a priority of communicating not just the right things, but communicating in a way that nails those truths into the hearts of people. And we do that by connecting with them emotionally. What about the prophetic dimension? Well, when it comes to speaking regarding the activity of God, or this is what we hear the Lord saying, or even sharing a prophetic word with someone, allow the gravity of that moment to land, because you made a connection with them. You weren't just speaking because you were the empowered, gifted person in the moment, but that you were centering the activity of God working through your life on them, that you cared about them, in fact, one thing that I've begun to learn when it comes to gifts of the Spirit is that there are moments where I hinder the work of the Spirit through my life when I'm focused on me. And so, in those moments, we have to focus on the person. We have to focus on their need. So let Spirit-led passion and urgency come through. Focus on the person and let faith be birthed in them. So again, the point is, remember, people never forget how you made them feel. It's so important in communication.
Hey, that's exactly right, Bruce. People may forget our outlines, but they'll never forget how we made them feel. But connection can't stop with emotion either. The next step, the next step is action. What do people see in us? So let's explore a little bit how leaders connect visually, through posture, through expression, and even through a consistent example. So we could say that action equals something we do, and people connect visually with what they see. So Henry Ward Beecher says this. He says there are persons so radiant, so genial, so kind, so pleasure bearing that you instinctively feel good in their presence, that they do you good. Whose coming into a room is like bringing a lamp there. Can you think for a moment people in your life that when they walk into the room, when they walk into your life, it's like they're shining a new light. They're turning on a lamp, and they're just brightening the atmosphere. Um, people connect. They respond uh, to those visual cues, to what we bring visually into the environment. So as we think about that, to connect visually, here's just a few tips. Number one, expand your range of expression. Um, you may have crafted the finest sermon or message in the history of communication and communicating. I mean, it may be A plus blue ribbon material, but if you just stand there in one place and just read that off of your device or your printed page, there's not going to be a lot of connection. And so you have to expand your range of expression. How are you expressing through your face, through your body, using your hands and using your arms? This was something that's fresh on my mind. Our both of our daughters participate in what's called fine arts in our denomination. It's a ministry for our teenagers, for our youth, to develop their gifts, and I mean, it's just a wonderful program. And so my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter's graduated out of that, but now my youngest daughter is still participating. Bruce, your daughter Rachel was a phenomenal in short sermon, and so my youngest daughter's doing her short sermons, doing stand up comedy and some different things, and we're just talking to her about expanding your range of expression. And so she this year she advanced to the national level of fine arts, and we're there, and they're in some pretty expansive rooms, and we're just like, look, Olivia, you've got great content, you great delivery, but you're in a bigger room. People are sitting farther away, and so when you get up today and you're going to do your short sermon, as you get up and deliver in your stand up comedy, you're going to have to make your gestures bigger. You're going to have to expand um, the expression so that the people in the back can see, uh, and that helps them to connect now to the message. And so we just talk about that, and I'm not saying anything that you probably don't already know, but sometimes it's good to be reminded of things. What are your expressions visually on your face look like? Uh, are they good expressions, or maybe you carry a sour look on your face? Take notice of that, and work on it, because nobody wants to look at a sour preacher. Um, what are your arms doing? I mean, incorporate an expanded range of expression. Eh, we want to grow our range of motion. When there's an injury, we rehab to rehabilitate the range of motion. Maybe we need to, in communicating to move to connection, we need to rehabilitate and increase our range of expression, so that people connect visually. Secondly, to connect visually, move with a sense of purpose. Move with a sense of purpose. Look, before you get up to deliver, scope out the room. Where do you need to be moving? Don't just make it random and haphazard. Uh, have you ever watched a broadcast? And now I know with since COVID, every church is live streaming their services. But have you ever watched a broadcast where the speaker is just, I mean, they're moving all over the stage, and the camera operator can't keep up with the speaker? It's kind of like a sound delay. The camera is just lagging behind the speaker. Look, move with purpose. Move with a sense of purpose. What are your movements communicating? Because I promise you, people are connecting with you visually. Don't move so fast that people can't travel with you, but don't move so slowly that you're just static all the time. Let there be a dynamic element, but let that element be purposeful. Move with a sense of purpose. Third would be this: maintain an open posture. Again, this occurs as we go back and just do some film work, do some film study, watch videos of you preaching, watch videos of other times where you're communicating. What does your posture look like? Are you open to the viewer and the listener, or do you maintain a closed posture? What we're suggesting is, in order to connect visually, Maintain an open posture as in your communication, and that will help you to connect visually. Look, for fivefold leaders, apostolic, evangelistic, the pastoral, the teacher, uh, um, all of them, all five, embody consistency between your words and your deeds. For marketplace leaders, credibility is always seen before it's heard. Look, the bottom line is this: people are going to connect visually, and if you're not aware, and if we're not intentional in our visual communication, then we're never going to connect. So we want to help people uh, with how we communicate visually to help them connect to us and to the message that we are delivering. Well, Bruce, I know you've got some wise wisdom to share with us on the next component of connection.
Well, I think we can maybe kind of review a little bit and think about how to integrate or bring some alignment to the three components we've talked about: thought, emotion, and action. Here's the truth: if any one of those are missing, then connection can break down. The real power and influence of great connection when we communicate is when we align these three in spirit-led communication. So let's close by talking about how leaders integrate all three levels to build trust and lasting influence. And I think a great place to start, Charles, is what John Maxwell talks about when it comes to the breakdown of disconnection. Take us through those.
Well, here's what Maxwell says. He begins by something I know but do not feel. Well, in that case, my communication is dispassionate. Something I know but do not do. Well, now my communication is simply theoretical. Something I feel but do not know. My communication is unfounded. Something I feel but do not do. My communication is hypocritical. Something I do but do not know. My communication is presumptuous. And then something I do but do not feel, my communication is mechanical.
Well, I think we got a little mistake in there on a few of those crayons at the bottom. So forgive us for that. But those are certainly some powerful concepts that if we're not aligning thought, action, and emotion, then we can come off, as Charles mentioned, dispassionate, just kind of rotely going through content. Something I know but do not do, man. And when our communication is only theoretical and it's not connecting with people, it's not helping them feel, it's not stirring their heart, then again, great content can be lost because we just didn't do the work of helping to communicate with people. So think about this when it comes to fivefold ministry. Every gift has a specific purpose in the way that Jesus wants to use it in the local church. And so incumbent upon great communicators is connecting through these three components. Thought, is it intellectually connecting? Emotion, is it stirring people to action based on feeling and the sense of value that we're not just casting vision, but casting value? And then action, are people seeing it in us, and are we giving them some clear direction on how to carry it out? Remember, spirit-filled leaders integrate mind, heart, and hands. That's truth that's embodied in authenticity. So, Charles, why don't we talk a little bit about how we connect with people in different formats, in different
Sure.
contexts?
Yeah, absolutely. There's three levels that we want to be able to connect on as leaders. So the first would be connecting one on one. And so here's three opportunities to help us connect one on one. Number one is this: connect visually by giving the other person your complete attention. And if you've listened to the Five Gifts podcast for any length of time, you understand this is one of my big pet peeves. Trying to talk to someone and they are just constantly answering their cell phone or texting. And man, I'm telling you, if there's anything that pushes my buttons, that's got to be one of them. So we want to connect visually by giving the other person our complete attention. Number two is this: connect intellectually by asking questions. Um, and that requires being present in the moment, being present in the conversation, to actually hear and understand what the other person is saying, to process what they're saying, and then to come back with questions. That helps us connect intellectually. uh, the alternative is me just standing there listening to someone else talk and just saying uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. That's great. And that's not a very intellectual connection taking place. We want to be able to listen to them, process what they're saying, and then offer up questions to deepen and the conversation and to help them connect intellectually through questions. Number three is this: connect emotionally through touch. Now, look, we've got to honor boundaries. We're not giving you license or permission to just go up and start hugging everybody and touching the whole world. But touch is a powerful emotional connector, and so connect emotionally through touch. Think about what that looks like for you. Think about what that looks like with those you're wanting to connect with. Honor boundaries, but incorporate the power of touch to bring about an emotional connection in a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah, that's great when it comes to connecting with individuals, but when you're connecting with a group of people, there's some contextualized considerations I think that are important. Number one, connect visually by setting the example. It's important that people see in you what you're saying to them, that they know it's authentic. Connect intellectually by investing in people's growth. Again, help them to see that the principles that you're laying out or the ideas they come across clear, but also that they're helping elevate your group, your staff, your team. And then number three, connect emotionally by honoring the group's effort. It's real important to celebrate wins. It's important to celebrate maybe in advance what you're planning to achieve through a new initiative, a new strategy. Always, in the process of meeting goals, be able to look at your team and say, "Great job. I know you're giving your best effort." Maybe we even need to retool and realign some of our effort and our strategy, but always honor the group's effort. So I would say those things are important with connecting a group. Charles, what about the larger audience?
Well, how do we connect with an audience? And again, a few tips to help us do that. We want to connect visually by smiling. It's important that we actually enjoy, or at least we look like we enjoy what we're doing and enjoy the message we're communicating. So we connect visually. Make sure you're smiling up there. Secondly, connect intellectually by pausing strategically. Man, a strategic pause speaks volumes as we're delivering the message. So, if it's vision, if it's a sermon, if it's correction, I mean, wherever you are intellectually, we can connect by pausing strategically. Number three, uh, connect emotionally through expressions, through laughter, through tears. So as we're speaking to the large audience, uh, connect emotionally through expressions, through laughter, and through tears. Your emotions, there's a sense of vulnerability in that, but your emotions really help people to connect to you and to the message that you're delivering. So, well, Bruce, I think that just about wraps it up for us today. Let's talk about a little bit of a recap, maybe just to kind of summarize the whole episode. We've talked a lot today about of how connecting goes beyond words. It happens through tone, through body language, through presence, and what we've also discussed is that connection or connecting happens through thought, through emotion, and through action. And so that connection happens then when authenticity, when passion and consistency, when those all align. So those are very important things to kind of reflect on. These will be some great considerations. So take a moment today and just reflect on your communication. If you feel like you're not connecting, these would be three things to help move you toward that. As a fivefold reminder, this is what we would offer up, is that each gift communicates differently, but all must connect beyond words. So wherever you're functioning, whatever of those fivefold ministries you're functioning in or you're leading in, make sure that your gift is communicating, not just communicating, but is connecting beyond just words. And then, as a gesture of encouragement, I would say this to all of us: let the Holy Spirit shape not only your message, but shape your presence as well, because we have to move just beyond the message, and our presence helps people connect to the message. So let the Holy Spirit shape your presence so that your people experience Christ through you. Bruce?
Powerful words. I love that. If today's conversation has stirred something in you, please don't let it stop here. We encourage you to talk about this with your small group, your ministry team, maybe your mentor or coach, and just talk about how you can grow in these areas of connection through communication. Also share this episode with someone you're discipling. And if you'd like a tool to help, then we've got all kinds of resources on our coaching websites. And again, with our podcast, please share and subscribe. Hit the like button. You know what? If you just didn't like the episode at all, hit it twice.
Yeah, the second hitting of the button is extremely important if you didn't like it. Hey, look, you can grab that outline in the episode notes. It's a great way to revisit these 5 areas and even use them with your leadership team. And while you're there, look, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. We're building a community of leaders here who believe formation and mission belong together. We want you to be a part and don't miss out on anything. Also, maybe you're ready for coaching, for one-on-one coaching to clarify your personal call and strengthen your systems, team strategy sessions to align your leaders, your priorities, and your growth rhythm. Schedule your free discovery call now at charlesrusselltraining.com, charlesrussellministries.com, and especially at coachingcardia.com with Bruce.
And listen, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below or share an insight you might have gleaned from this particular episode. And don't forget to subscribe, share the episode with a friend, and join us as we keep equipping spirit-filled leaders for the harvest. This has been the 5 Gifts Podcast. Until next time, keep practicing your connection skills, not just your communication.
Are you a spirit-filled minister ready to take the next step in your ministry training? The Servant Leaders Cohort will help you earn your BA, MA, or DMin. We offer in-person instruction in a small group learning environment that is affordably priced. Instruction happens in monthly 2-day intensives in the Triad of North Carolina. Degrees are approved and conferred by Vision Christian Bible College and Seminary. You can earn your bachelor's in 2 years, a master's in 15 months, or a DMin in 18 to 24 months. For more information, go to 5gifts.org/SLC.
You've been listening to the 5 Gifts Podcast. If you would like to take the next step as a spiritual leader, we invite you to visit either of our websites or contact us for leadership coaching. We can help you reach the next level in your own growth and leadership. We provide leadership, spiritual gift, and personality assessments that give you a better grasp of your leadership style. And we also create a customized growth plan that empowers you to reach your full kingdom potential. We can't wait to hear from you.